here we go. And this isn't important to everybody, but it is, I think, at this table. What's your approach to water introduction?
Well, they need to like water. Well, the ones I have right now, because we do half upland, half waterfowl. So they need to like water.
And these are pointing dogs.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So you just start small, puddles and shoreline walks, and get their feet wet, literally, just don't force it and let it build on itself, keep throwing bumpers, and eventually they'll just get enough courage to start going in. You got to be playful with them and make it exciting for them, and just don't push it too far, too fast, and let it go by itself, and it'll eventually show up.
Heather, now you're getting a dog that, as statistics say, 30% of them won't retrieve, or no, only 30% of them do retrieve, and only 30% of them like the water. Do you have any thoughts? Like, are you going to expect your new setter pup to do water work?
I don't think that dog's going to waterfowl hunt, really. That's not
right. Not waterfowl hunt, but
yeah, I would hope. But we're going to introduce it.
Are you going to treat it like you plan on a dog that dog's going to eventually retrieve something out of the water? You're going to approach it like that?
I would. Yeah. Yes.
So what's your plan?
Same thing we did with the last one, which took a while, and that was a dog that was supposed to go in the water.
That was the poodle pointer.
But introducing and having an older dog, I think, does sometimes help. If our other dogs are in there and they show no fear running in there and everything. So just repeated exposure, and we have a lot of little places that have long, very shallow ranges where they can get quite a ways out there. And they're still they're not swimming yet. No, they're still standing.
Yeah. Ted, you do a lot of water stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
So all my dogs get exposed to water, but the same thing. Pause first, just puddles, whatnot. And then if you have one that doesn't like it, I get in the water with them. I go out there and throw bumpers, but I might be chest deep and just show them that. Because most of my dogs like to follow me around. So if I'm out there, they're like, oh, okay. And sometimes just let the rest of the pack go in the water and they start figuring it out. But I don't have that problem usually with my dogs because they want to go in the water.
That's not the one that's going to have 30% like the water. You're in a breed that's...
like where you have to keep them out of the water.
Right, that'd be the thing.
So like the swamp collies just want to be in some sort of water.
Right.
Like if there's a puddle over there and it's dry here...
They'll be over there.
You're like, why are you rolling in that?
Right, right. Scott, what about water for you? Like, is there any emphasis on it?
I do. The same thing they said is I take it slow. I try to go to slow, gradual, warm water. I get in there with them. And like Heather said, a lot of times I'll take one of the old dogs. I'll just sit down and maybe water that deep, but I'll just let the puppy run around and play in it, right?
Right.
Just they get rid of the fear of the water.
Right. Because you're not asking them to go in by themselves.
No. So they start to enjoy it. They're playing, they're splashing, they're grabbing weeds and tugging on them, right?
Right.
So I try to let it be a positive experience for them, and I'll do that several times.
Now you have a pointer right now. Mm-hmm. Does your pointer go in the water?
Yeah.
Did you expect that? Because it's probably not one of the breeds.
It's sort of funny. I mean, at a 4-month-old puppy, she just happened to have a lot of natural retrieve.
Okay.
I could throw a dummy as far as you could throw it, and she'd swim out there and get it and bring it right back to you.
So you just like, oh, that one's off the...
Yeah, but she liked the water.
So
now...
You almost didn't even have to do any...
No, but I still did that stuff with her.
You still did the baby puppy sit in the water, have fun.
So it's and she'll cross creeks and all that stuff. Or go in there and lay down in a creek to cool off. But the one thing she doesn't like is if it's pouring rain out. She doesn't like to go out there and sit in the rain, right? Just sit there,
right.
But, I mean, she's a dog. It's like I'll just sit in the house.
Or baths. They're like, nah, I love water.
Yeah, I love water. I hate baths.
Please don't make me get in the bathtub.
I don't like that.
Yeah. I should have had a question on when do you introduce your dog to the house tub? Me personally, when I did, I probably had over a dozen litters, so I'm not a big breeder, but I've done it enough. My routine when the kids were little, we always went down to the lake where the boat launch was and took the mom and the puppies with. And the mom loved the water, and the puppies wanted to be with mom. So half the time they're still trying to nurse on mom.
Right. Yep.
And because she was in the water, I remember those early litters, they took to the water like it was, and we're talking as soon as they were still nursing and getting some mash. So
Like 6
probably
weeks
5
old.
weeks, 4,
Five.
5, 6 weeks old. We would load up, my kids would help me load up the puppies, and we'd go down to West Lake, and mom would go into water because it felt good on her. It was, usually spring or summer. Like they saw her go in there, and everything was right in the world.
Right.
It was literally a piece of cake. And then going back to your last dog, Trent, you got a dog that's known for being strong in the water.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we did it wrong or we did it right or we did it it was awful cold.
Yeah, it was early
when
in the
we
year.
started.
It was cold. And then, of course, there's the expectation, too.
Like,
Yeah, you're like,
The
I bought
minute-
you because you need to like water.
that'd be like getting a lab or a golden that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
water's the thing I have to worry about?
Right.
Yeah, so there's an expectation there, and then when you see that they're not like real keen on it, they're not like overzealous about it, you want to push them and you want to see them swim
Right.
so bad, but you have to take yourself out of it and just be like, you're still young, there's a whole lot of other stuff we're working on right now. We're doing
Right.
a lot of puppy stuff. Water will come, and it did. It just
Yeah, you
It
had
just
like a
usually
real
does.
up and down. Saw good, saw no good. Not
Mhm.
I shouldn't say no. You saw hesitation, you saw advance, you saw
Mhm.
hesitate. And then we brought your dog over to my little pond here
Yeah,
after we saw it swimming a lot.
yeah.
And it was a new sight
Different
picture for
picture,
that
yeah.
dog. And that dog just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't.
Soggy bottom versus a gravel bottom
But,
versus
you
a
know,
concrete boat ramp. I mean,
I guess what I'd love to know is if, not that I've done a whole lot right in my life in the dog world and training, but every dog that I took down when they were little puppies with their mom, now Ken, that's year dependent, but most litters are spring and summer. Those puppies just love the water. Like that was just off the table that I didn't have to worry about that. And like you said, when you get a dog that's your expectations are, well, I won't have to worry about the water.
mhm.
And sometimes it's just a maturity thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know about any of his siblings. I mean, I know all their test scores and stuff. They all go in the water. Every
Right.
single dog from that kennel, they all swim. They all go in the water.
They all
but,
passed their water
and
test.
And in the back of your head, he's going to eventually, but you want to see it today. Like
Yeah.
you always want to see
Right.
it happen. You're always looking to make it happen, and you just kind of gotta sit back and be like, all right, that's fine. He didn't go in today. We'll do it tomorrow. And that's
Right.
for me it can be hard to do, because I want to see results.
Yeah. Here's a question that I think everybody will probably have different opinions on, but it may be all the same. At approximately what age, and again, I'm not talking months or weeks, or approximately what do you want to see in your dog when you do this? When will you let your pup interact in the field with an older dog? And I don't mean interact like take a walk. I mean like where you're going to do some bird training or some actual hunting. So you got a new dog. When are you going to, like with Whiskey, when did you let it hunt with Kip?
They need their first season by themselves.
Okay.
They need to be independent and searching and finding their own birds. It only takes 2 or 3 times for the more advanced, the older dog to find a bird, for that puppy to watch it happen. And then pretty soon they're like, I'm just going to follow them around. They're not doing their own searching. So I definitely give them a whole season to themselves.
Right.
And then,
You might let them out to truck tailgate.
oh yeah, they're
after
going to
eating
play together and do
but-
that stuff
But
together.
not when it's serious.
Not serious hunting or training,
Right.
nothing. It's all by themselves for a solid year, for sure. And then after that, a lot of times, I mean, we won't hunt our dogs together, but maybe we'll have buddies who have dogs.
Right.
So then that's where another dog comes into play. But personally with us, with 2 dogs, we like to always have a nice fresh dog. So we're not
Right.
going to burn 2 dogs at once in North Dakota.
Right.
So they're hunting by themselves a lot anyway. And
Right.
that's just the way we hunt. So I like them to be independent for sure.
So are you going to take some gunless walks in North Dakota with your new pup? Or do you think
It's going to be pretty young, but we're so close to where we can do like just across the corner of the road. I'll probably do something like that.
Without a gun.
Without a gun.
Yeah.
Just from the house in the spare time.
Are you expecting to shoot a bird over your dog this year?
No.
No?
No.
What restraint these young people have. So Ted, when do you let a pup interact in the field with an older dog, or in the duck hunting world? Like, you do more duck hunting than upland, or is it
I do both, but
both? You do both,
I've learned not to let them interact because they compete.
right?
And when I like go up to the like release places and guide, if my female has ran the tower and retrieved a bunch of birds,
Yeah.
she can hunt with other dogs because she's gassed.
Mm-hmm.
But if she's not gassed, she just turns into like
Steal.
hunt. I'm gonna tell you not to hunt, So mainly I'm with them. I just run one at a time,
Right.
unless I know the other one of them's a little wore out.
Right.
So yeah, I probably won't introduce any of them to hunting together because they start compete.
Right.
So
Scott, what about you?
Yeah, not when they're a puppy. I mean, the only time would be maybe, later in life. After
Yeah,
a
when
year
they're
old.
both.
Yeah. Once it's doing its own thing, it's hunting with its own purpose, then if you want to try to do some backing work, yeah, but not as a puppy.
When you grouse hunt, which you do, I mean, you travel, you do a lot of grouse hunting. You got a,
Yep.
you got a grouse camp even, so to speak. And do you and Dawn put 2 adult dogs down?
No.
Still one at a time?
Yeah.
And is
If we
that
do,
just
we
for
go
efficiency,
opposite
or is that for like keeping a dog fresh, or is that just because it's
No, I think competition reasons, and then they wouldn't work good enough as a team.
right?
I had 2 of them that worked when I was younger that were like great team.
They almost didn't care about
If
each
one
other.
dog pointed, the other dog always backed. I never had to worry about the other dog bumping, trying to take that over. They were a really good team, but that was 20 years ago, right?
Right. But
I
did
don't-
you introduce those 2? Did that younger dog out of the 2 20 years ago, did you run him with that
I
dog?
did. I probably did, maybe 1 out of 5 times.
Right. So it wasn't forbidden. It was just
Yeah.
not the norm.
now,
Yeah.
what about a different dog? Like if I put my dog on the ground and your dog, would they mess around? Like if I put my older dog down with a dog that knows how to hunt, he's not going to mess with that other dog.
Yeah, my dog's not going to pay. My dog's just going to go out and do its own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not going to pay
Yeah.
attention to each other.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be the same way. Older dogs, you know how to read them and you know what they're doing. You're probably better off hunting with a stranger's dog because they'll just want to go do their own thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when I have a young dog, I want to see the same thing. I want to see his first year development without being dependent on, because I've seen a 2-year-old dog learn that beeper collar trick.
Oh yeah, it don't take long.
Yeah.
I mean, a dog can learn something pretty darn quick if he learns it on his own.
Mm-hmm.
We teach it to him. It might take a little longer. And I remember Bravo, he learned what the beeper collar meant and he wanted to go over and check out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that dog, unfortunately, didn't have an ounce, no Bronco has backing in it. Like their point's not intense enough to be, they just don't back. I don't know if it's what the Italians did or that they never had the competitions where backing was required. I remember a training day in Virginia where there was a setter, a setter and 2 short hairs on point. We had planted bird and we're just having fun. Let's take camera out and get a couple pictures. We had 3 dogs on point and I got this picture somewhere and Bravo comes up over this little rise and he sees 3 dogs on point. And I swear if there was a caption that says, "Hey, why'd you guys stop hunting?"
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't doing a bird takeout. He was just like, I don't know why you'd stop. So I would not hunt a younger dog with an older dog. I want that younger dog to just show me what he's got. And then I can make a decision to pull him if there's some grab ass.
Mm-hmm.
Like you guys hunted last year with Jeremy's dogs.
Yeah.
And how did they do? the fact that they're not raised with his dogs, but they know his dogs.
Yeah, they know each other really well.
Yeah, they know each other. That's a good.
It was when the two puppies got together. Then it was the competition stuff. Then you could see them like look at each other and be like, "I'm faster than you." So and they just race and yeah. But if you went a younger dog with the older dog, they did their own thing and hunted well together.
Right.
But we couldn't put the two young dogs that were full of testosterone together. They just blew the whole thing
It was
up.
just run.
They're not even hunting anymore. They're just like, I'm fast.
Yeah, you literally just see it in their eyes and looking at each other, just running as fast as they can run, not hunting.
Which in the woods is terrible.
Oh yeah, we were in North Dakota, so I could really see what they were doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Please hit like and subscribe.
Can you say it?
Please like and subscribe.
What they're trying to say is, please hit the like and subscribe button so I can take them on a ride. Is that good? All right. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, we're going. We're boys. We're going. We're boys.